All right. There's Eva. Okay. All right. All right. Welcome, ladies. And welcome everyone. I'm Ronita with the Purposeful Point, and I teach painting in person and online. And I'll go over the colors that we're going to be painting with. I have blue, red, white, and green and brown. So those four colors, that's awesome. Four colors. Do keep in mind, I recommend you use whatever colors you like, whatever you have. You can go traditional, go whimsical, you can go abstract, because I love abstract if you didn't already know. I am painting on a 9 by 12 pad. It just absorbs acrylic paint better since acrylic paint is water-based. Um, I do have these. This is what I use. It comes in a 2-pack. That way I can keep everything in, or you can use a canvas, whichever works best for you. I am using my paint brushes, my flat brushes. I don't have numbers on them. They're all kind of worn out, but use what you have. I do like my flat brushes for my background, for larger areas, and then go smaller as I get to the smaller areas. Paper paint, I'm using acrylic paint by Deco Art. Um, that's the really the only one that I use as far as this type of paint, so I can't really speak on anything else, and so I won't. Uh, so let's go ahead and put the paint on the canvas. I think I touched on all of the aspects: mute, spotlight, and welcome. Yes. And so I am going to, like I said, I'm just going to paint my whole background, and I'm going to um, kind of start with the blue and introduce the white a little bit, because like I said, I want to lighten it up a little bit. So that's what I'm going to go. That's what I'm going to do. You guys go ahead and get your background painted. If you're muted, you can turn on your music and just vibe out. It's relax and enjoy that. This swiping the canvas is very relaxing. Ooh, that's really dark. I do like the blend on canvas. Yeah, now the only thing with the using the paper, that paper just drinks in the paint. It just drinks it up. So the only way I guess you could, one of the ways that you could eliminate that is if you covered your paper in a gesso. And gesso is the material, whatever they put on canvases. A canvas is cloth, it's material, and then they'll put the gesso on top of the cloth, and that's what we're painting on. So you can do that, because I'm wanting to start painting um, forget, can't think of what I was, the bags, cloth bags, and taking these same designs and putting them on the bags. And I've had recommendations to cover the cloth with the gesso first, because what happens is just like I'm talking about, this paper is absorbing the paint. It absorbs the cloth absorbs as well. Now, I didn't go all the way to my ends. You can, there's no reason I didn't. I just didn't. You do what works best for you guys. Uh, my background is not even. It's some of it's, you know, this there's no direction. Once you get it covered, it does not have to be a solid. Tell my painters we're not painting a wall. Yes, when you paint a wall, you want it to be solid, even. We're not there. We're not painting a wall, so it's okay if there's some variations in the paint. It just gives it texture. So think about that. And I say that because we can't go to the next step until our background is fairly dry. So that I'm encouraging you to not keep, continue to swipe because you want a solid opaque background with no variations in it. Okay, because we're going to kind of layer and put some stuff on top. So it's okay. Hey, Eva.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. How's your dad?
He's doing better, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Yep, he's out tonight helping the Hungarian community. They're going to be making 6,000 cabbage rolls this weekend.
Oh, nice. Nice. I'm glad he's been busy.
Yep, yep, he's been there chopping onions for the last 2 days, so
Hmm.
I'm going to help tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll learn the way to roll them.
Okay. I guess there's a special way to roll them.
Well, yeah, to keep the meat all in, you gotta know how to, because the meat's the same weight. They weigh the meat so that there's no difference. It's just trying to fold and tuck the little cabbage leaves.
Okay. Okay. Sounds
Then
good.
they cook them all up in batches.
Now, have you cooked those before?
No,
Okay.
I've only ever eaten them already done for me.
Okay.
When I was a kid, my mom and dad would make them, but then I just buy them from the hall. I've never made them myself.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you guys have stopped swiping so we can get the background dry. And we're going to give it a few more minutes. Mine's is dry. Of course, on the paper dries it up really fast. So even if we just kind of work on the grass at the bottom, and if it blends in with the blue, it's okay. Oh yeah, good idea. If you have a blow dryer, that'd be awesome as well. Oh, it's just not going down. Hey. Okay. So I'm ready for my white, and I'm gonna go down a brush size, or you can do a pointer just because basically um, paint that mushroom to give it its shape if you want to do a pointer brush. But just something a little bit smaller for better control. And yeah, I have white. I was gonna say I only have red, but I don't need that yet. So it's a mushroom. So basically, we're gonna draw a half circle, like a dome, and you decide how big you want that to. How do you want that? How much to cover your? And I'm gonna advise if you have all of this room on your canvas, then you're go big. Do not make. I don't want to see any tiny mushrooms on a big canvas. Okay, so it's basically I'm gonna bring mine up a little bit higher. a half of a circle. Mine might look a little bit lopsided because I am um just at an angle, but if it is, we're mimicking a mushroom, so it's not going to be a perfect dome. Okay, guys, it's not going to be perfect. And then I'm going to go and take a wavy line and put that in there. Now we have I don't know, it looks like a brain maybe. We're gonna yeah, there's my dome.
Kidney
So
bean.
really, in case your paint is not dry, we're just gonna do the outline. So while we're outlining, we can go to the grass and still continue to let, because it doesn't matter if the white mixes in with the blue, you have your outline, then we'll go down to the grass. And so if we're at the grass, it doesn't matter if the grass mixes with the blue because green makes blue. So I am going to go ahead and do the underside of the mushroom. Well, I'm bringing it in. I left a little opening. It doesn't matter if there's no opening because we're going to throw that stem in there. So that's kind of another dome here. Be like a half circle. Okay. And I did on purpose. You can see where it's curved. I didn't want a straight up and down mushroom. I like to add a little variation. Yes, this is abstract, but I want to mimic nature a little bit. And not all mushrooms go up straight up and down. And some do, but in our mushroom, it's going to be crooked. How about that? And you can angle it whichever way you want it to, but just curve it. No straight mushrooms. Okay, so now we have our mushroom base. And it doesn't matter if it's straight or whatever, because we're going to paint it all in, going to paint on top of it. So it doesn't matter if your lines are straight. We can straighten them later when we cover up we fill in the mushroom. So we can go ahead and let that dry if your blue is not dry, and switch over to our green. Again, it doesn't matter if our green mixes in or not, because you can like kind of barely see my green. Doesn't show up real bright, but because of the darker background, that's why we're going to paint our mushroom white, because we want a lighter background for the mushroom. So my um blades of grass, I'm just going to start down at what I say the bottom area that I want my grass to be, and just swipe up. It's you can't really see. Let me mix some. I'm gonna mix some white in my green just so you guys can see it, because my background is so dark. But so that I can show you, can you see just a swipe? You see how that just a swipe? Some of them are short swipes, and some of them I can swipe all the way up a little bit higher. Okay. I'm gonna kind of go across, just kind of at the base of the. I try to avoid the mushroom area because we're gonna paint that white. And we can put some more blades on top if we need to hit the white. But I didn't fill it all in. I don't know if you guys can see, like I said, with my green bin. So just don't get carried away with too many of them. Put some in there, because you'll see that I actually did some greenery. I'm going to show you what I do with that. Again, I better put some white in there. Make sure you see it. So now with this other greenery that I put in there, you guys can see that. Can you see another plant that I put there? So I'm gonna make those leaves the size of my, basically I'm just going to touch the canvas, and it's based on the size of this paintbrush. So um, I'm just going to touch it. It's just a touch, and I'm going to put another one beside it. And then I'm going to keep going down. Touch, 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 touch. Keep going down, like right beside it. And that's how I made those, that greenery. And they're not all even. I got a little bit off, but oh, but I'm gonna put one right at the top. So see that? So you can play with that. You can go with that, or do something different if you like. I'm gonna put some more. I'm gonna do another one. And don't worry about it being side by side either. Like I said, a little bit off variations is cool. And some of mine are going to just go right on top of not worried about the blades of grass. Okay. If you can kind of stagger those little, I'm just touching the paint, my brush onto the canvas. That's all. Just is not painting, just touching. And of course, there's paint on my brush, so it's just leaving those little. And again, you guys know that I added some white in mine so that you guys can see it, and not just so you can see it, but also to give them dimension. So we talk about when you take green. If I just painted green, one shade of green, it kind of it's flat, it's okay, it's cool. But to give it a little bit of dimension, you want to change up and put a second shade of green. It doesn't have to be a second color, but a shade of green, just to give it some variation. It's kind of, bring it forward. The lighter will come forward, the dark backwards, and so then it gives you, then you have dimension. So, and even with the blades of grass, I like that too. All of my blades of grass are two dimension, have two shades of green. You guys can see that I'm pulling it close. All of them are kind of two shades. Okay. I'm just putting a little bit of shade, just greenery underneath the blades, because I didn't put a lot of blades, but I still want it to look kind of like it's the ground, like there's some in a section of grass. So just kind of touching down. And if you can do another plant, um, you have another plant that you know how to paint, you can add that down in the roughage down here. Right now, I'm just dabbing paint down there, so kind of filling in the spaces in between the blades of the grass. Or you can bring some more blades of grass up if you like. And you can see how far I brought some of the blades up almost to the head of the mushroom. Some of them are low, some of them up high. So you do what works for you. If you want to bring some up higher, and even if you want to bring some up that like high that are like behind the mushroom, because we're going to give it a forest effect, like it's on the floor of the forest. So I'm wrapping it up with my foliage. You can come back to it, like I said, if you need to, especially if you want some to go over the mushroom. So uh, while we did that, I'm sure your blue background is it's dry. So we can take our white and fill in our mushroom. Okay, got my brush ready. We're ready to jump in on that white. And I'm gonna paint the whole mushroom white. I'm going to start with the head because I want it to be dry when it's time for me to paint red on top or whatever color you decide. So I'm going to paint the top of the head of the and then we're going to do some stuff like blending some brown in underneath. So while we're doing that, this top is drying. So you can, yes, use a blow dryer or, let it dry as we work on the bottom. So we'll get this out of the way. Okay. And again, like I said, just paint the whole mushroom. Now I am trying to make sure that I can tell the difference between the top of the mushroom and the bottom. So whatever it takes for you to tell the difference, make sure you do that. So I am leaving a little bit of space so that I know where my wavy line is that separates the top of the mushroom to the underside of the mushroom. And then if you had painted it, your lines, and then there's your blue mixed with the white, now this is a good time to just go ahead and cover. It should be dry and you can just cover those lines with white. So that's why it was okay if it blended a little bit. It's a good time to cover now. Now I'm going to paint my stem. And I'm going to do the same, try to make sure I leave a line so I know where the two are, they separate. And bring the mushroom, bring it on, your stem on down. Okay. I guess I should have went ahead and had my brown on my tray. Get your brown. Doesn't matter what kind of brown. If you can see, you can do lighter brown or darker brown, whatever works best for you, or whatever color you'd like to. Good night. All right. So I was on a Zoom call and then on this Zoom. So, all right. So I am going to paint my right here what I talked about going around, just a little bit of paint on my you can see on the where I kept kind of rounded there. And then I want to put my, you don't have to do that. I don't know if mushroom looks like that on the other side or not underside. Okay, okay. Well, so that's what I threw under there. Hey, Daddy. So, and of course, I'm going to make them curve a little bit because I want it to look like it's round underneath there. I don't know if you guys can see how I did that. Just curved them a little bit so it wouldn't be the little curve. A little curve. I might put a little bit under here. You don't have to, don't do too many. A little bit of curve. Now I still have brown in my brush. I didn't wash it out. And I'm going to dip my brush in my white. And I'm going to come down one side of the mushroom. It doesn't matter which side, it's up to you. But because I still have some of that brown in the white, you guys can see how it, I don't know if you can see it, but it shadowed it a little bit. You'll see if you have brown in your brush and white. And then I also want to add some of that brownish white at the top of the stem, where the stem meets the head. Now I only did, like I said, only one side and then underneath. Now in my example, I did go a little bit darker. You can still do that as well. I'll dip in brown again and just add some little accents. You guys see that? I mean, you can go darker, heavier. It's up to you. Okay. Now I'm still have the white and the brown kind of in my brush, and I want to put some like right beside my brown marks, because now it's going to give it a little more dimension, make it look a little rounder, give it texture by doing that. I'm not painting on top of my brown marks. I'm painting right beside it. Okay. Not on top, just right beside it. Okay. I'm taking just only white and paint again on top of that one, the light, the white and brown mixture on top of it. I want to lighten it up, still make it look like okay, I can't see. I didn't mean to paint on top of the lines, but I did. Doesn't mess it up just because I'm at an angle. And there you go. We're done with the stem, the underside of the mushroom. I'm getting my red paint ready. I did not have it on my tray.
Benny!
Hey, the puppy,
Sorry.
your puppy.
Yeah, yeah, it was the puppy. He wouldn't come in. He's barking like 90 out there. Sorry about that. I thought I was on mute.
I didn't hear it. I only heard you. I didn't hear the puppy.
Okay.
He scared me. All right. We are going to go ahead and paint the whole top of the mushroom red. Because I bet you were wondering, how are we going to paint around the circles? We're not. We're just layering paint. Just go ahead and cover that the head of your mushroom with red or whatever color you choose. Purple is cute. Some of my white is still it's blending in, but again, it's okay. It just gives it some dimension. And again, we're going to layer another layer of white on here too. So we're going to do that and let that dry while we move on to the next step. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see, I have a few little red flowers or whatever you want to call it, a few red ones, and that's what we'll work on while our mushroom dries. And I didn't put white first, like I said, I put white first to make that red pop out. I'm not going to do that with these down here. It's not as important. So, and I did those. I made sure that they were at the tip of one of the your blades of grass. So it kind of looks like it goes to the stem. So it's just not floating. I did bury some down there. So it doesn't look like it's kind of floating. And I don't have a certain amount. You just put them wherever, what works for you. Um, it is abstract, but sometimes I get caught up on balance, trying to balance it out. But if you can You know what I mean? Is trying to make sure I have, it doesn't have to be even, but placement, that type of stuff. You see how much darker they are than the red, because the red mushroom has the white base, and those are a little bit darker. It's all right. I dip my brush in a little bit of white just to bring those out because they are so dark. It just brightens them up a little bit. That's why mine's look kind of pink. And if you like, I talked about some of the blades of grass. You can bring some up over top of the stem. It's not mandatory, but if you want to do that, just fill that in. Now, we're still letting our red dry. We're going to put some, you can see my white, and it has no significance. It just, I felt like the blue needs to be broken up a little bit. So that's why I added that to the background. It's not snow. It's not, how about it's pollen? We're going to put some pollen in the background. And I'm going to take the butt of my paintbrush, not not the paintbrush area, but the butt, the back of the brush, and I'm going to dip it in my white. Dip it in my white paint. You see that just on the butt of my brush. And usually you can get 3 good dots of pollen per dip. So, and make sure you're not uniform. Don't put your dots straight in a row or line them up in any way. It's supposed to be kind of a random thing, because pollen, I've never seen pollen lined up. So keep that in mind. And it's just a dab. We're not painting with the paintbrush. Some people do that. When I say that, take the butt. We're not going to paint with the paintbrush, with the butt of the brush. I'm just touching it to the canvas, just dabbing the paint on there. Like I said, so you might get more than 3, but just 3 good dots. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I guess the bigger the brush, the bigger the dots will be. And we are going to paint some circles on the I guess we can wait. I was going to put dots on the mushroom now, but let's go ahead and put the big round ones first before we get the dots on there. So, and also another thing, they don't have to be um, don't make them uniform. And I'm gonna make this one over here. I'm gonna put one right here that's like half off the mushroom, half off, so we can get a little more realistic about it. And everybody can make a circle. That's all I'm doing. Make the circles. Oh, you stuck my brush in red paint. That's not what I was trying to do. I'll make a circle out of it anyway. Now I just have some that are white and some that are not. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to put some more on here just to even it out because I dipped my brush in the red and it had white on it. So some of them are going to be white and some of them are not. Okay. Oh, that worked out. I like that. I don't like this one right here that's white and it's blending in with the underside. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. Now, you can add the little dots or not, the pollen, but I'm going to add my pollen. I'm trying to make these dots a little bit bigger. Okay, okay. And don't forget when you're done to wipe the paint off of the butt so that you don't get paint everywhere.
He was a fairy. Yep. Yep.
All right. So wrapping it up, I'm going to go ahead and make a mess. Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and log out of out of YouTube, out of YouTube, and then we'll. All right, YouTube. Good night. If you have any comments, please leave your comments below and figure out how to turn it off.